PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold on! Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change-anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
Conference play for Double-A starts tonight, meeting the next 5 weeks. Will determine who's in the playoffs and who is not. But hey, it's going to be a fun route there. The previous 4 weeks that helped everyone get things dialed in, find out how they want to play. But now it's time for the games that matter, and we got a fun one tonight, a duel in the West between Watford City and Dickinson. I'm Brock Weidner, joining you on the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pregame show on the PSP Network, live from the Bijou Activity Center in the Queen City of Dickinson. Well, before diving into this big bout to start the West region, let's go and see those standings. Again, the previous 4 weeks, more just prep games. They matter in the polls, but they don't really matter in the route of making it to the playoffs. So we'll take a look at how they've all shaken up on the east there. There you see Grand Forks Central, right? And they picked up a win today already as they picked up a win over Fargo South. They were up by 20 points in that game. Fargo South actually pulled into striking distance, but the Knights would win by 3 earlier today. Kindred, big-time leaders over Grand Forks Red River right now, and Central Cass and Wahpeton. I did not see a score for that before I went on, but that's the other matchup. In the West region, Minot North had the best non-region slate, 4-0. They're out taking on St. Mary's tonight, and Minot High up big at half. Devils Lake's got Jamestown and then Watford City and Dickinson right there. But as you kind of see for the East, 2 teams that are undefeated, a 3-1 team, a 2-2 team, and then you got Fargo South and Wahpeton down there with a 1 win and 0 wins. For the West, 1 undefeated team, a 3-win, a 2-win, and then the rest are just 1-win teams out of the non-region competition. But now you get to the big games. You're going to just be playing your teams the next 5 weeks in your respective conference, and those are the games that are going to really matter. And now we'll take a look at those media polls. Minot North leading the way, 16 first-place votes. Kindred with 2. Then it's Grand Forks Central in 3. Your 3 undefeated schools, Devils Lake, Central Cass, both 3-1. And then Grand Forks Red River, the other team receiving a vote. But they, again, right now playing from behind against a very good squad there in, I believe, Kindred. So there you have it. Today is also Senior Day, so we'll get in and honor those seniors a little bit later on in this Valvoline Instant Oil Change pregame show. Valvoline Instant Oil Change, this year locally owned oil change headquarters. 25 years, Lundine's taking care of people. Local actually matters. Not to mention that it's a oil change that's a stay-in-your-car drive-through oil change, typically performed in 15 minutes or less. You can find them in the Magic City of Minot and the capital city of Bismarck. It's Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Lots to still come on the pregame show as we are going to be starting diving into this matchup between Watford City and Dickinson when we return on the PSP Network.
Wondering whether you need wealth management? Wealth management is a multifaceted offering that should provide opportunities for growth and security. At BNC National Bank, we pride ourselves on putting your priorities first and providing practical, objective financial advice. Our team can help you assess your goals and take stock of your assets to determine whether wealth management is right for you. Speak to a member of our team today to learn more. Member FDIC.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories in the area, we are the only dedicated pet crematory that offers private individual cremation. One pet at a time, 100% guaranteed. From start to finish, we personally handle your pet with the utmost care, ensuring that you receive only your pet in return. Choose Badlands Pet Crematory, because saying goodbye should come with certainty and trust.
Senior Day festivities wrapping up here in the Bijou Activity Center. There you see Colby Fasthorse, one of the seniors honored here today. And let's talk about these seniors and mention all of them that are graduating this season. Cameron Bowden, Caleb Polans, Devin Height, Ethan Luna, Kobe Monterez, Jackson Braun, Colton Brown, Dylan Glauser, Ian Randall, Colby Fasthorse, Cole Crossley, and Trevor Tolliver are your seniors, and a big senior class, a big-time senior class for this team. Again, about 12 seniors being honored during the pregame as Dickinson going to head on to the locker rooms, get settled in before kickoff, and now we're going to start talking about these two teams, and we'll start it off talking with the visitors tonight that are still on the football field. Watford City. They are a storied football program with a winning 65% of their games since 1975, 327 wins, 9 state titles in that time. But recently, it's been tough sledding for the Wolves. It has been something that's not been easy. Wins have not come easy the last couple of years. They have not tallied more than 2 wins in a single season since 2018. But second-year head coach Jim Dooley is looking to try to break that streak, and that broken streak could come tonight, as the Wolves already have punched 2 wins in the win column this year, and this season starting 2-2 with wins against Wahpeton and Williston, losses to Central Cass and Grand Forks Central as they fell to the Grand Forks Central Knights last week, 40-12. Coach Dooley, again, second year at the helm of the Wolves, but he brings a lot of coaching experience as he coached the Beulah Miners for 12 seasons, so maybe if you're Dickinson Trinity, played for Dickinson Trinity or kind of watched Dickinson Trinity, you might have seen Beulah quite often as they were in the same region. But Coach Dooley led the Miners to 11 winning seasons in his 12 years, 11 playoff trips, 3 state title appearances, and also took a state title game in 2015 against Shanley. So he has got a lot of big milestones and they crossed off, and now he's trying to, in Beulah, now trying to bring that in to Watford City. So you got experienced a head coach that has a state title in his back pocket on one end for Watford City, and on the opposite end, it's a first-year head coach in Dawson McLaughlin for the Dickinson Mavericks. McLaughlin is ready to try to. He's led them to compete in all 4 games very well for DHS, but they have only 1 win on the season to show for it, with losses against Grand Forks Central. That was probably the one game that they weren't really in, right? They were able to try to battle back late, get a couple of late touchdowns, but that night team was in control in that game. All other games for Dickinson, the 1 win against Williston, they were in control that whole game, but against Central Cass and Fargo South, Dickinson was down by a possession in the 4th quarter and had a chance at a 2 or 3 minute drill drive down the end to try to tie that game. So again, this Dickinson team has been in the mix in pretty much every single game this season, and they're trying to see if they can start putting those wins in the column there, as DHS looking for their 225th win since 1975, looking for Dawson McLaughlin's 2nd win as a head coach, as Dickinson has made the playoffs 25 times in the last 50 years, and the path to try to break the balance into the positive end there. It starts tonight. Again, it's conference play starting tonight. Get those those records on the board don't matter a whole bunch now, because it's all about the conference season. That is the route to the playoffs. Your previous 4 games, throw them in the rearview mirror. Your next 5 are the ones that could get you punched your ticket to the playoffs and eventually start your road to the Dakota Bowl. Well, coming up on the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pregame show, still lots more information coming your way, as we're going to be talking about how these 2 teams fared against common opponents, as well as players and keys of the game, coming up on the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pregame show.
Rooted in the heart of our vibrant communities stands Bravera Bank, offering complete financial services for banking, wealth management, and insurance. From home loans and checking accounts,
let me tell you about the cashback rewards with this account,
to wealth management, we'll help you forge your path ahead.
Let's create a plan to reach your financial goals.
Sounds great.
With specialty insurance coverage, our advisors ensure your operation can carry on.
Looks like it's going to be a great harvest.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Breathe in.
I can't believe I wrecked my car.
There are some things in life we can't control. But what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
shots of the lights, and normally the lights would be coming on about maybe the second quarter, halftime, third quarter. Well, tonight going to be the exception because, again, 7:30 kickoff Mountain Time. So if you are watching it in the Central Time Zone, it's 8:30. Probably some of you guys are ready to go to bed, and we haven't even kicked off this one yet. We could very well have this game going to midnight if you're watching in the Eastern Time Zone. So should be interesting. Maybe you get a little Mavs after midnight for your Eastern Time Zone listeners tonight, but should be a fun one tonight. Again, two teams out of the West starting off conference play, and you see the offensive line getting to work for Watford City. Those guys, they've been putting in the work. A lot of great rushing attack, and it's really built up from that front line for the Wolves, and we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the pregame show. But we're going to start talking about common opponents, and both these two teams have played 4 games, but 3 of those 4 games have common opponents in them, and they both played Williston, Grand Forks Central, and Central Cass. For Watford City, they took on Central Cass week 1. They fell to the Squirrels 14-41. For the Dickinson Mavericks, they played Central Cass last week and had a chance with about 2 minutes to try to tie that game, but could not quite get that 2-minute drill going. Central Cass would score another touchdown to put it away, 36-21. Then both teams also ended up playing Grand Forks Central. Scores very similar. Dickinson Mavericks fell to them 21-44. Watford City fell to Grand Forks Central last week 12-40, and Dickinson scored 2 of those touchdowns late on their end against the Knights. Last common opponent was both Williston, and both teams beat them pretty similarly, both with wins, 48-6 for Watford City, and Dickinson beat Williston 49-0. So common opponents, pretty similar, all the exact same results. So out of common opponents, both teams were 1-2. Dickinson played Central Cass better, but the other 2 games was very similar of how they played those common opponents. Well, now let's head on over to kind of the keys to the game tonight. And saw there earlier that shot of the visitor Watford City offensive line, and that is going to be the key tonight. Can they get that run game back up? Grand Forks Central did a really good job of shutting that run game down for the most part. Was able to shut down a couple of their players that have really had a great ground game. But if you look at that rushing attack, 308 yards per game on the ground for the Wolves. This is a team that likes to run the ball. If you're used to watching Fargo Davies, that's very similar of how this Watford City team runs. Fargo Davies is the T formation where you have 3 running backs all kind of lined up in that T. Watford City is a wing T, so everyone's very bunched up. You don't know who's going to take the snap. More than likely it's going to be the quarterback, but the fullback can cut that off as well. So should be interesting to keep an eye on that. Lots of misdirection. Who's got the ball? And that's that wing T formation that Coach Julie's been running forever, especially in Beulah, and that helped him win a state title. And for Watford City, again, we talked about they're looking to try to get into that win column, trying to break that streak of being held to 2 wins or less since 2018. They have a chance to get their first 3-win season since, I believe, 2017. So trying to get right back in to that winning way, and Dooley doing a good job of coaching these kids up and trying to get used to that wing T system. Last year was that little bit of the integration of the new system. They finished 1-8, but they've been really able to run that well and see how it's going to fare tonight. For the Dickinson Mavericks, their key is a little bit different. You know, they're going to have to try to find a way to stop that very efficient offense on the ground. So that run defense going to be huge for Dickinson. They got to stop the run and try to force Watford City to pass. And that's what Grand Forks Central did really good last week, is Watford City was playing from behind early and forced them to kind of lose their identity. And they were passed, I think they passed about 70% more than they normally do, if not even higher. And you're taking a look at their quarterback stat as I'm thinking about it for Baylor Salas. And on the season, 8 for 16, 12 of his passes came last week. The other 4 passes in the previous 3 weeks. So Watford City was kind of throwing off their game. They trailed early. So Watford City today is you want to stay in it early. You want to take the lead. You want to play your game if you're Watford City. And for Dickinson, it's stop the run, but also try to stretch it out with that pass game that has so many weapons for Dickinson. I know we're going to talk about the players to watch here in a second, but Paxton Leeson, Dylan Glauser, Caleb Polans, Shane Ciani, Ethan Luna. I mean, so many weapons there. So it's very night and day. You're going to see probably a lot of passing for Dickinson, probably a lot of running for Watford City, and we'll see what comes out on the winning side here tonight in the Queen City. Let's take one more break. When we come back, we will start talking a little bit more in depth about our players to watch here on the Valvoline Instant Oil Change pregame show.
Breathe in.
I can't believe I wrecked my car.
There's some things in life we can't control, but what's important is how we respond. At Jerome's Collision Center, they provide the highest quality of service, assuring the job gets done stress-free and making it feel like a breath of fresh air. And to give you peace of mind, they handle the insurance.
Are you even a therapist?
Don't worry about it. Jerome's, they're the experts. Jerome's.
Welcome back in, and there you see the Mighty Mavericks of Dickinson hitting the field for senior night. Led by a couple of the seniors. Colby Fasthorse, one of those seniors. He was the one to bring out the flag, and he's going to be one of our players to watch tonight. Colby Fasthorse, he was all over the field against Central Cass last week. He was fun to watch defensively, and he will be one of our key players to keep an eye on tonight. We'll talk a little bit more about Colby Fasthorse. 27 tackles on the year. He has a team-high 7 tackles for a loss, 1 interception, but 13 of those 27 tackles came against Central Cass last week. Isaac Lowry, another player to keep an eye on the defense, 13 tackles, 3 TFLs. But you really have to look out on the offense. Paxton Leeson, 251 receiving yards. Dylan Glauser, 244 receiving yards with a 135-yard day last week and a touchdown against the Squirrels. Caleb Polans has 130 receiving yards with 2 touchdowns, and throwing them the ball going to be Nate Stevenson. The quarterback with 739 passing yards, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions, also a dual threat, just under 300 rushing yards. He'll be handing off the ball as well to Wyatt Turner, who really picked it up last week, is starting to get more reps, and it led for him having a 51 rushing yard, 1 touchdown day. But he's a guy that is able to punch in those close situation touchdowns. He has 5 TDs on the year. Caden Cheddar, another player to watch defensively, 27 tackles, 7 tackles versus the Squirrels last week, and Devin Height leads them in tackles with 52 on the season. Players to watch for the Watford City Wolves, well, you got to keep an eye on their ground game. Tristan DeVries, 384 rushing yards. Connor White, as well as Riley Liedall-Berger and Jaden Weidner, as we head on over to tonight's national anthem. Great work there by the crowd for finishing off tonight's national anthem here in Dickinson. As we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're having starting lineups and kickoff. Watford City taking on Dickinson in the first conference matchup of the week here in Double-A football.
Great news! If you're looking for a new vehicle, Ryan Family Dealerships has the best selection we've had in years. You'll find fantastic offers from Nissan, Honda, Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, Cadillac, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram.
Hold up. Ryan sells Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram?
Yes, we do, and we'd love to sell one to you. Visit one of our 5 convenient locations in Minot and Williston. Get your next vehicle from a name you know and trust. Ryan Family Dealerships.
Nobody thinks about personal injury until it happens. But when injury strikes, so will your bills and the turmoil and everything you'll miss out on. It's a mess and you need someone to help it all make sense. That someone is Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride. We know the territory and the process, and we work smart and hard to get you results. It's easier to get back to normal knowing there's a team behind you. We're the ones the other side doesn't want you to call. We're on your side. We're Schweigert, Clemene, and McBride.
Watford City ready to go, trying to pick up their 3rd win on the season. First in conference play, the first conference bout of 2025 for these two teams, and it's senior day, as you see the senior sign getting broke through there by Trevor Tolliver. Again, we're going to go back to those players to watch for Watford City. Tristan DeVries, 384 rushing yards. He's going to be a guy to really keep an eye on the ground. 95 rushing yards and a touchdown last week against Grand Forks Central. Riley Liddell-Berger, he leads them in rushing, 496 yards, 9 touchdowns on the ground this year. Grand Forks Central, though, kept him pretty well contained with only 23 rushing yards, his lowest of the season. Jaden Weidner, another threat on the ground, 213 rushing yards, and his best day was last week, 121 rushing yards, where he averaged 12 yards per carry. Conducting that offense is a junior, Baylor Salas, 8 for 16, 93 yards, 69 rushing yards as well, but he was forced to throw more than he had in the previous 3 games combined, and then some. 12 of his 16 passes on the season came last week. Then looking for one of those receiving threats, Connor Winter, 2 receptions, 40 yards, but he's a pretty good defensive player as well. 16 tackles and a pair of interceptions for Winter. Thaden Arnold, 17 tackles, 1 sack, 2 TFLs. He's an all-region player. Braden Spacer, 17 tackles, a sack, 2 TFLs, 2 forced fumbles, and Harper Moberg, someone to keep an eye out as that linebacker position as well. So there's your players to watch, as well as your keys to the game, what to look for. It's going to be a fun one. Well, the Wolves on the ground, the Mavericks through the air. Which one is going to prevail tonight and pick up their first win in WDA season? And also pick up that first one's going to be important because you only have 5 games to try to put your bid into the playoffs, so nothing's easy. Again, 4 of the 6 teams in the West region will make it to the playoffs, so you don't want to be in that bottom 2. And every win is crucial, especially to get the boat afloat in the right direction. So there you see Watford City. They're at the 50-yard line. This one going to be interesting, more just because of that same situation we talked about, just 2 very vastly different offenses. And then you take a look here also that this Dickinson team has not lost to Watford City. They are 4-0 in the previous 4 meetings, but they've been pretty close games. The last meeting last year, 39 to 22. Dickinson prevailed for the victory there, and so it'll be interesting to see how this one going to play out tonight, as Watford City again with a new head coach on a 2nd year, and they have built in this formation that they want to run in the wing T that has really worked, and they found their identity with 8 different offensive linemen that are able to rotate in and out. They also have got, I think, 10 different running backs that have had carries this year, so depth is key for Watford City. They might not have the big numbers as other teams in AA, but they have a lot of depth and players they can rotate in and out. So it'll be interesting to kind of see if Dickinson can find a way to stop that run game that has averaged 300 yards per game. So it looks like Dickinson will be receiving. Want to take a look at those stat lines for the season. Watford City averaging 28 both teams are actually averaging 28 points per game. Watford City, though, giving up 25 to Dickinson, giving up 29. Watford City, as we said, more on the rushing game, 308 rushing yards to 25 passing yards, averaging 33 yards per game as a offense. For Dickinson, a little bit more balanced, 115 rushing yards, 190 passing yards for a total of 306. And so that'll be something to kind of keep there as offense pretty close, 309 yards to 333. But just the way they get the yards is very different. Dickinson going to be back to receive. So that means we will take a look and introduce you to tonight's starting defense as Watford City gets ready to go for Watford. At the D-tackle spots will be Caleb Pickering and John Holland. Defensive ends, Thaden Arnold and Brandon Spacer. Linebackers are Tristan DeVries, Brogan Shannon, and Harper Moberg. Cornerbacks, Connor Winter and Riley Liddall Berger. Safeties are Bryson Wolf and Will Langford. That's your starting defense for Watford City, and after the kickoff, we'll introduce you to the starting offense for the Dickinson Mavericks. We're back to receive, and they've got some playmakers back there. Dylan Glauser and Caleb Polans. Polans returned a kick for a touchdown last week. No, actually, excuse me, that's not Caleb Polans back there. That's actually Caden Shetter on the far side. You also got to keep an eye if Polans available. He's got a kick return for a touchdown. They're going to go a squib kick right away, but jumping on top of it is the Mavericks. So they'll be set up with some nice field position to start. And a heads-up play, not to think that one's going all the way down the field as Easton Blauer jumps on top of it and sets them up with great field position near midfield. Ball at the 48-yard line where the Mavs set up shop for their first offensive drive. Let's meet those starters on the offensive line. Left tackle, the junior Jacob Britton. Senior Colton Brown. Cannon Dressler, the sophomore at center. Right guard, Cale Thompson. And the right tackle, Cole Crossley. That's the offensive line. We'll meet the skill position players here after this one. Stevenson hands it off to Wyatt Turner, who breaks the tackle, picks up a first down, then some. Turner falls down at the 35-yard line. Well, at the starting running back, there you go, Wyatt Turner. Somehow breaks the tackle. Nice little juke move, sidestep, and goes all the way to the 35. He's the starting running back. Colby Fasthorse, the starting tight end. The starting wide receivers, the seniors, Dylan Glauser and Caleb Polans, and the junior, Paxton Leeson. One play, one big carry for Turner and the Mavericks. They go back to Turner. He'll try to work his way to the left, and Harper Moberg and company force him all the way onto that right side. Far side of the field. Good work by Moberg of setting the edge for the Wolves. Nothing doing there, but looks like a potential flag, if I'm seeing right on the screen, right next to an injured Wolf, who is Harper Moberg. Face mask called on the Wolves, as Harper Moberg still down. So we're going to take a timeout break on the field as Dickinson, two big plays to start this ball game. 11:26 remaining in the first.
At Shots Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day, so you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Shots Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
Welcome back in. Harper Moberg able to get over the sideline on his own will. So great to see there from Moberg. And he was the one that kind of disrupted that play, kind of forcing them onto that far side. And now brings up a first down after the face mask call, and that will bring the Mavericks into the Serve Pro red zone. Ball at the 20. Stevenson slings it on over, caught by Leeson on a screen play. Picks up a gain of 5 on the play. Paxton Leeson. He's the leading receiver on this squad this year. 251 yards on the season. Was held pretty well against Central Cass to 41 yards. Below his per game average. But hey, for Leeson. You can't quite take him fully out of the equation, especially when you got Polans and Glaser also out wide. They'll bring in Colby Fasthorse from the right side of the line to the left. That sets up a handoff to Turner. Finds a gap, and he will plow his way for a Maverick first down. Great work there for Turner. They bring the tight end, and you see there, just goes right through the gap. A little bit of deja vu for Watford City, who gave up a touchdown on the opening drive to Grand Forks Central last week. Seeing if they can anchor down. I formation. Back to Turner it goes. Works to the left side. Brought down by a couple of Wolves, as leading the way for them on the tackle was Thaden Arnold. Arnold, again, one of those all-region players a year ago. Pretty good basketball player for the Wolves as well. 9 points per game on the basketball court for Arnold. Just shows, hey, you got some athletes here on both sides. Both sides have some good basketball players also when he gets to the winter season, which starting to kind of get a little bit closer and closer to. Stevenson, one receiver to the left, two to the right. He's going to bring Leeson into motion, then stop him, send him back to the right side. He looks towards Leeson, not there. Instead, throws one in the direction of Caleb Polans that hits into the ground. Good way to try to go through those progressions there for Stevenson. I think that was supposed to be that kind of in and out play designed for Leeson. It just was not there. Good defense for the Wolves to force 3rd and goal at the 5. So what do you do? Do you go back to the ground, kind of what got you here? Or do you try to find that air attack again with those weapons you have? This time they'll go opposite side. Same play, though, to Leeson. They fake the pass. Stevenson with the keeper. He'll pick up a yard. Yard on the quarterback keeper, 4th and 4. And it looks like they're going to bring out the kick team, and that means one of those seniors, one of those 12 seniors that was honored today for Senior Day, going to go out and try to boot this one through the uprights to try to give the Mavs the lead. That's Jackson Braun. Stevenson the holder. Snap is good. Hold is good. Braun boots it through the senior on Senior Day. Puts the Mavericks up 3-0 with 8:38 remaining in the opening quarter against the Watford City Wolves.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson, Cody Olson, and Scott Wilkins, your agents with answers in Mandan.
Jackson Braun picking up the field goal that goes through the uprights. 3-0 as Dickinson able to pick up a couple nice run plays. Then a face mask penalty set them up well into the red zone. Watford City, though, doing a good job bending but not breaking, just giving up 3 instead of 7. But the senior Braun making it a 3-0 DHS lead here early on. Again, for the Wolves, they do not want to play from behind like they did against Grand Forks Central. They want to try to stay in this game and play to their identity on the ground. They don't want to be forced to pass as many times as they did last week. Bouncing off of one tackler, then being eventually brought down by a couple more. On the return was Griffin Shetter, the freshman. Let's meet that starting Watford City offense. The tackles of Tim Randalls and Brandon Spacer. Guards of Harper Moberg, Birch Cheddar, and Thaden Arnold, the center. Quarterback Baylor Salas. Running backs of Tristan DeVries, Riley Liedall Berger, Jaden Wagner. Wide receiver of Cade Singer, and the tight end is Lewis Larson. Again, this is a winged T offense, 3 running backs. Not quite that T formation as if you watched a couple of Fargo Davies games we've had on the PSP network. They like to really bunch up right there, and a lot of who has the football. Lee Dahlberger, Salas, both going to act like they got it. They're going to give it out to Lee Dahlberger. He's going to plow his way for a couple of yards if he were being wrapped up by Colby Fasthorse. That's the offense you are going to see. Two players acting like they're going to take the ball. And you've seen teams have efficiency with that. You've seen South Border go on to the title game a couple of years ago in 9-man with a very similar styled offense. Fell to North Prairie in the championship, but that was a very effective offense. The TGU Titans the year after tried to kind of emulate that as well. So you'll see some formations like that, and you'll see it again. With a shift, they'll go right direct snap, this time to Tristan DeVries. As he'll be pulled back for a first down, they will give him the forward motion. Give DeVries the first down and move the chains for Watford City. You're just going to see the ground and pound game, and this is a Watford City team that's very physical up front. Again, 8 offensive linemen that can just keep on rotating to stay ready to go, stay energized. That's how they want to beat you. Just wear you down. You might have some success early on against them in the first or second quarter, but once it gets to the third or fourth, you just get so tired of trying to stop this efficient ground game. Salas gets the snap, fakes it one way. He'll keep it himself and wrapped down by, I believe, this time not Colby Fasthorse. He was in the area, but the tackler will be Aiden Ho, the linebacker. Aiden Ho making his first start at linebacker this year. The other linebackers are Devin Height and Easton Blower. Front line of the seniors are Cole Crossley and Trevor Tolliver, with Isaac Lowry joining them. Cornerbacks are Paxton Leeson, Caleb Polans, and then Jesse Hammond and Dylan Glaser, the safeties. For the safeties, might not have to go and be ball hawking tonight, as instead of giving the handoff, it was a direct snap to the fullback who tries to power through, picks up a gain of about 2 or 3 for Weidner. Jaden Weidner, he had a career day last week as the Grand Forks Central Knights were able to shut down, for the most part, Lee Dahlberger, but that allowed Weidner to really get some yardage in his way. 121 yards last week, averaging 12 yards per carry. Big 3rd and 4. Salas under center. Now he's going to be joined by Lee Dahlberger. They'll give it to Berger. He's just going to push Salas, and now charge ahead for a first down. Great running there by Riley Lee Dahlberger. There you see, puts the hand on Salas and then cuts him into the right side of the field and goes for a first down. Back into the direct snap to Lee Dahlberger. Some extra pushing and shoving on the top side. This smash mouth football here for Watford City. As time is going to be very well chewed here for Watford City, and this is something they do well. They chew the clock, they keep the ball on the ground, and honestly, limit offense possessions. And now you'll see them all line up, one after another. They do this a lot, especially against Grand Forks Central. They did every single play. That's the first time we're going to see it today. Salas hands the ball off. Jumping to the outside is DeVries. He'll pick up a first down, then some. At the 40, he's pushed back at the 37. Tristan DeVries, he's their second leading rusher on the season. 348 rushing yards, a pair of touchdowns this year. Last year had 311 yards on the ground as well. So he has been very efficient in this style of offense the last 2 seasons. Last year, 300 yards is pretty good, but he's got over 300 yards in just 4 games this season. It's his first big carry of the day here, bringing it in to Maverick territory. He'll direct snap it to Weidner again. Still can't bring him down before Devin Height will finally now try to rip away that ball, but cannot quite do it. And there you see Weidner in the middle of that scrum, not going down without a fight. Talked about the wearing down style, and here's a nice drive right now that has worked down to over 4 minutes on the clock in the first quarter. Salas works back to lead Allberger. Gives it right back, right to their direct snap of the running back, who will pick up the yard and a couple more to go with it to cross in for another Watford City first down. This is an offense that is very effective, but something to be noted is it has to have a lot of buy-in from these players to buy into this style of football, and that is what Watford City has done, and that's where you're really starting to see that success and that turnaround in this program, led by Jim Dooley in his second year. They started implementing this type of style of play last season. They're perfecting it this year. Lead Allberger with the carry, pushed back by Easton Blower and company. Whole bunch of Mavericks, Blower and Aiden Ho, the first couple to get there. Gain of 2, and that's going to be what you're going to try to limit these Wolves to. Those small 2-3 yard carries, but for them, hey, they're fine with picking up. If you average 3.5 yards per play, every 3 plays, it's a first down. So that's exactly what you want to see if you're Jim Dooley, of just wear down the opposing defense and just create that confusion. You see all the movement on the Dickinson side. They'll pitch it on from Lead Allberger, getting it on over to DeVries, trying to race through the line before being brought down from behind by Aiden Ho with the tackle. 3rd and 3. This is a team that also for Watford City is they like to kind of throw you off the way they line up, and then they'll change, forcing all sorts of disruption on the defensive side. So you watch the defense scramble a lot of the plays to try to get their assignment. As you'll see them line up this time, they're just going to line up the way they've looked from the get-go. They'll go right in to lead Allberger near the first down marker. Not going to get there. They're going to be actually stuffed 2 yards short. Just going to maybe pick up a yard, if that, on the carry. And that's exactly what first-year head coach Dawson McLaughlin wants to see. Watford City has drained now near 6 minutes of the clock and has worked it within under 2 minutes here in the opening quarter. Get a late kickoff tonight, 7:30 Mountain Time. So if you're listening in the Central Zone, 8:30. But Watford City making this clock go away quickly. Direct snap back to lead Allberger. He's met by a force, pushed back. And they're going to say he is stopped short. What an effort for the Dickinson Maverick defense. Let's check it on the replay. Lead Allberger coming in, and here comes Cole Crossley jumping on your screen just to send him back. We were near the marker. He wasn't going down. Crossley just goes in kind of with a spear-like jump and pushes them right back down, keeping them away and giving the ball back to their offense for the Dickinson Mavericks with 1:19 on the board. So about a 6-7 minute drive for the Wolves. Here's the pitch play to Leeson, wrapped up near the 24. Again, Paxton Leeson, one of those players that McLaughlin and this Maverick offense love to just find a way to get it in his hands. And when you have those targets and those type of players like Leeson, Polans, Glazer, Turner starting to kind of be one of those guys as well, and now you kind of got those 3-4 guys that are just scary to get that ball into, and it's just really able to stretch out that defense. Stevenson able to scramble away. He'll take it himself, able to juke his way around Brandon Spacer as he will scramble his way for a Maverick first down and getting out of bounds at the 29. 37 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Mavericks lead 3-0 again after that first drive on the day. They went big run from Turner, a face mask penalty. They got right near into the Serve Pro red zone, worked it up to the 5, but elected to kick that field goal. Braun booted it in. It was a 6 or 7 minute drive for Watford City that was stuffed on a turnover on downs. in Dickinson territory. They'll hand it off to Turner, who bounces off of a couple of tacklers and plows his way in for a nice gain of about 6. So Turner doing his job. He is doing a fantastic job at that. He is shedding tackles and making a tough day for those Wolves defensive linemen. With what's on the play clock, the Mavericks actually do not need to make another play. 10 seconds on the game, or on the play clock, or 10 on the game clock, 4 on the game clock now, 11 on the play clock. Mavericks going to set up to play, but going to let that one drain down. A very blistering fast first quarter of action. It was about 12 minutes on the field, but it felt like 12 minutes in actual time as well between these two teams. And they'll switch sides and get ready for quarter number 2 as Dickinson continues their drive when we return.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of Finland Civic. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Little Cotton Eye Joe action to get them back onto the field. They flip sides. I think the Blue Hawk Stampede going on here in Dickinson, a big collegiate rodeo for DSU. I think that's why we didn't see the horses bringing the Mavericks onto the field today, because of that rodeo in town. As Stevenson drops back to pass, he's looking for Fast Horse, who hauls it in, hits the brakes, and then goes back into trying to hit the gas pedal, and he'll be tackled at the 48-yard line for Colby Fast Horse. Look at there, little brake check, trying to stutter step around the defender, is able to pick up an extra couple of yards on the play. Colby Fast Horse here in his senior season looking really sharp. Is on senior day. Colby Fast Horse was productive on the offense last year. Here he's been, this start of the season, he has been on another level defensively. And there's a big time play on the offense for Fast Horse. They'll give it on to Turner. Turner will work into Watford City Wolf territory as he's right on the Blue Hawk at midfield. Put him at the 50-yard line, picking up a gain of 3. Fast Horse checks off. They'll bring in Ethan Luna, Luna's one of those players that is starting to get more and more playing time as the season goes on. He has got 2 catches for 33 yards. Last year was one of those kickers in the rotation. That was made a big impact both offensively and defensively for this team. One of those role player contributors on the offense and a nice player on the defensive side as well. Muffed ball by Stevenson. He's going to pick it up off the ground. He's going to be picked up by Arnold, who was trying to slam him down but could not quite get the grip enough. Make it a loss of 1 on the play. Another tackle for a loss for Arnold, who again an all-region player last year. That's his 3rd CFL in the season. Mark him back about a yard and a half, put him 3rd and 9, sending Dickinson back to their own side of the field at their own 49-yard line. 10-12 on the board. Before halftime, Stevenson takes the snap, slings a pass into Glosser, in and out of his hands, and it will hit the turf. No harm, no foul, but that could have been dangerous there for Glosser as he was trying to haul that one in, and it got sent up almost into the hands of Riley Liedalberger, who's had a great day offensively. Almost came away with an interception on the defense. That's going to send back the ball to Watford City, who had a about 7-minute drive on their first try. That one goal is going to go through the hands of Braun. Braun runs it down at the 20, just turns around, boots it, hits it at the 50-yard line. Going to have a friendly Maverick roll all the way to the 34. Heads up play by Jackson Braun, not to give up on that play. and get about a 16-yard punt when it's all said and done. But the actual yardage on that was probably about 40 yards, if not more. Just great work there for Braun. Just the impromptu, goes through the hands, hits the Jets, picks it up. He's got some handshakes waiting for him because they knew that was a big play. Instead of letting the Wolves have that ball at the Dickinson 20, they'll have it at their own 34. Back to the ground and pound offense. Direct snap to DeVries. DeVries follows the pack past the 40-yard line. Put him at the 41, a gain of 7 for DeVries. DeVries, a pretty good ball player as well in the basketball court for Watford City, 9 points per game. Even Thaden Arnold both on that football and the basketball team, both averaging 9 points per game on the basketball court. As now they'll send out Connor Winter, the lone receiver, on the bottom of your screen. Everyone else bunched in on that wing T offense. They'll shift Weidner in. They'll give it a direct snap on over to Lee Dahlberger. Going to plow his way in for a first down near midfield. They'll put him at the 49-yard line for Lee Dahlberger. And that is what Dooley and Watford City wanted to see. Seeing him have a bounce-back game for the leading rusher who was contained to just 23 yards on the ground last week. He's got over 500 yards on the season. For a Wolves team that is averaging over 300 yards per game. Salas going to throw for the first time today. No, he's going to keep it himself. He fakes the throw. He'll work out to the left side of the field before being hunted down by the Mavericks. Taking a look there, Jackson Braun is doing some work there. We're getting the snap set up with Brian Leggett. As again, that snap to Braun went over his hands. Now they're on the same page. As you see there, the handshake. It was good work, though, by Braun to track that ball down and still get a punt off. There they are working again to try to make sure that doesn't happen the next time their numbers are called. So great job of them for putting in the work and trying to make sure everyone's on the same page. Timeout going to be taken as right now Watford City driving down the field. They trail by 3 against Dickinson. 8 minutes remaining before the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show.
Since 2003, the architects and engineers at Ackerman Esvold have been enhancing everyday life. From response times to commute times, we've helped create critical infrastructure, enhancing highway safety, flood protection, and public education. And we're no stranger to enhancing fun, family outings, and even game time. Ackerman Esvold, working to enhance your everyday life.
Student section throwing around some goodies there from the cheer team to the fans in attendance. As the Mavericks on senior day, leading over Watford City. 7:49 before the half, 3-0 after picking up that field goal in the opening drive. As Salas steps in with DeVries, they'll give the direct snap to DeVries. Now they're going to just throw out the flag. False start on the offense. Moving back 5 yards, so what would have been a 2nd and 6, going to turn in now to a 2nd and 11. Dickinson's run defense doing a solid job thus far of trying to limit Watford City. And it takes a lot of communication, who has the ball, who doesn't, who's a decoy. Just try to have to sift through that. Weidner now going to settle on in, back to DeVries. DeVries pitches it off on a misdirection. Breaking a tackle is Lee Dahlberger as he picks up the first down at the 38-yard line. And that's what you can also play a factor there. You see DeVries pitches it That's going to be a forward pass, too. Brought in by Liedalberger as he makes his way in to DHS territory. Nate Stevenson throwing the rock. He's ready to try to get back on the field, tossing it with running back Wyatt Turner. There's always a lot of players on Dickinson that you'll see just trying to they're honing in on their craft when they're waiting to get back on the field, making sure they stay ready when their number's called, as there's a flag coming in late. As DeVries the one to come up with the ball for a gain of about 4. But they're going to be pointing back instead of a positive gain of 4. Looks like it's going to be a loss of a couple of yards. They pointed towards Watford City. Looks like a holding on the Wolves, so send them back a couple of yards. This is a Watford City team that does not want to have to, they're going to throw them all the way near the 45-yard line, so 1st and 15. Again, with this offense, you don't really want to be forced in like a 3rd and long situation. They prefer to keep that ball on the ground. No really passing plays other than that misdirection that's going to be counted as like a pitch pass. As Salas hands it off to Liedalberger, trying to find the edge. Here's the flag being thrown out. It was near the direction of the wide receiver on the play of Will Langford, so it could be a holding potentially on him. And they look over to Dawson McLaughlin, so yes, it will be holding on the Wolves. Yeah, I believe it will be on number 15, Langford. That's one of those things where wide receivers, for the most part, not asked to block a whole lot, in that position. But in this Watford City offense, wide receivers are asked to be kind of an extended kind of tight end, if you will. It's able to pull out, be that wide receiver, be able to catch some passes if need be, but you do a lot of blocking in this Watford City offense if you're a wide receiver. Salas going to go empty set here. We haven't seen this formation. They're going to go on for a quick pass and pitch and catch. Hauled in by Cade Singer, the starting lone wide receiver for Watford City, for a gain of 3. So there's Salas's first official throw on the day for the Watford City quarterback. In what has been the low-scoring game here in the West region to kick off conference play for these two teams, but they know winning that first game in the conference year is ever so crucial. Watford City rushes to the line. Salas, quarterback keeper, trying to follow the leader against Arnold, but he is caught up and tackled on the play by the Dickinson Maverick defense. Not able to break through there. There's a jersey number change. I'm going to get that here to you. Isaac Lowry wearing the 45 tonight. Normally wearing, I believe, 73. So I had to kind of pause there to make sure. But yes, Isaac Lowry wearing the 45. A couple different jersey changes throughout this season. Salas kicks on over for DeVries. He's going to look to pass. It's a little screen play caught by Liedalberger. Follows the blocker and works his way to the 35. So here comes the throwing again to the passing offense. And it was based off of a couple of penalties that forced him again to 1st and 15, 1st and 20 territory that forced him to get through the air. And they'll bring up 4th and 7. Ball at the 35, and this is kind of the interesting territory. It is kind of your 4-down territory at the 35 if you want to take it. And it looks like Watford City are willing to roll the dice. Salas going to go to empty set. He's going to scramble to the right. Cuts back in, and he is stopped by Isaac Lowry. Lowry meets him again. A turnover on down with 4 minutes remaining. Lowry making 2 big tackles on that sequence. Let's take a look at the replay brought to you by Ryan Family Dealerships. Salas works to his right and just tries to cut up field after he saw Caden Shetter seal the edge. And when he went up, it was right into Lowry's hands. 4 minutes on the board for the Mavericks to see if they can go up by 2 possessions before half. They'll kick over Turner. They'll pitch it out to Turner. Turner hits the Jets as he works his way to the 45. Late flag coming into the play in the backfield. It was a positive play of 8 on the quick running back pass. But he'll be brought back and negated off of a offensive holding. It's a little bit of roar from a faithful for the Watford City Wolves that made the trip tonight. The 2 westmost teams in AA football. Watford City and Dickinson. Then you got Minot North, Jamestown, also in that west region. St. Mary's. Dropping back to pass, Stevenson. Going right into Leeson, hauled in at the 40. He hits the gas pedal and pushed out at the 46. Near the first down marker. They're going to mark him a yard short as he points forward. But I think they're just going to say about a 2nd and 1 coming up. Maybe a premature first down celebration there for Leeson, but hey, you're hyped up after making a play like that. 2nd and 1. Stevenson hands the ball off to Turner. He will pick up that first down, spins out of the pile in to Watford City territory. Wyatt Turner with another first down. There you see, right at the 50, gets hit by Harper Moberg and then spins out of the pile. Picking up another 5-10 yards for Turner. He entered the season as kind of the backup running back, but he has emerged as the starter as the season has really started to progress. There he's met by Arnold again, but going to continue to fall forward an extra yard or 2. Give him a gain of 3 on the play. For DHS, the best case scenario for the Mavericks is to try to just work down this clock as little as possible and then put some points on the board. Give yourself some insurance, but also limit of having Watford City touching this ball again. So it's kind of, you're working 2 different things. You're trying to score, but also if Watford City doesn't touch the ball, I mean, that's also plays into the equation if you're Dickinson. Stevenson rolls to his right, throws out a pass. It's intercepted through the hands of Caleb Pollins. It's brought down by Connor Winter. As Winter with the celebration, let's take a check on with it through the hands of Pollins. Winter comes away with his interception here, his 3rd on the season. Well, I just talked about it with Dickinson trying to work down this clock or put some points on the board. But maybe the old commentator's jinx is right when I was saying that. It was an interception. Exactly what Watford City wants to see, because now they get the ball back and they're going to have about 2 minutes to work. So a 2-minute drill with some decent field position at the 46. So they can play their game. Salas and Liedalberger acting like they're going to take the snap. They'll give it to Liedalberger. Gets around the 50-yard line. He's brought down by the leading tackler for Dickinson of Devin Height. Gain of 5. Bringing it right to midfield and quickly getting right back into position. Going right back, same play. Liedalberger works to the right side, breaks the tackle before being brought down from behind. But a big-time first down after Jesse Hammond able to track down Liedalberger. Moving the chains, getting into Dickinson territory is the Wolves. 1:45 on the board. Back to a direct snap to Liedel Berger. 3 Mavericks it takes for him to bring down Aiden Ho and Jesse Hammond in on the tackle. 2nd and 2, and a timeout going to be taken. I believe it's going to be on with the Mavericks taking the timeout. They want to settle in defensively as Watford City. No huddle offense, working to perfection. 1:30 on the board before half. Dickinson leads 3-0.
The foundation of the financial planning approach at Legacy Financial Partners is a personal relationship. Our unique and collaborative approach to financial planning starts with your dreams, not just the numbers. We will work with you regularly to take action to update your plan as your needs evolve, recommending products and services that are right for your situation.
Dickinson leads 3-0, but it's Watford City threatening late here in quarter number 2 after Connor Winter had an interception, and then it has been the Riley Liedel Berger Express down the field for the Wolves. He has been that primary back tonight. He's been the primary back on this drive. Let's see if that continues on as they're nearing the Serve Pro red zone. Weidner now settles in. It's Salas and Liedel Berger in the back. They'll go to Liedel Berger. He waits for Salas to hit the gap first so he can follow him for a first down, and they're into the Serve Pro red zone. 24/7 emergency service trained technician, advanced technology, fire and water, cleanup and restoration. It's Serve Pro. Another timeout taken on the field, but we'll stay right here. Today's game brought to you in part by Minot State. Best way to predict your future is to create it. With over 100 areas of study at Minot State, you'll earn the degree for your career of your desire, with more than 96% of recent Minot State grads employed or continuing their education. MSU grads get jobs, period. Minot State University, be seen, be heard, be you. Northern Plains Heating and Air. There's no other choice to seal your heating and air game than Northern Plains Heating and Air. Call Dylan today at 222-2155 to make sure your furnace is ready for the winter months ahead. New installation, upgrades, and all your furnace and AC needs. Again, call Dylan today at 222-2155. Great student section once again. They were rowdy last night. That is for sure for the DHS Minot volleyball game that went 5 sets. It was a fun night last night. Jets picked up the win in a 5-setter. Everyone training in a line there for Watford City. Now they'll settle in. They hand it off to DeVries. He plows near the 10-yard line before being pushed back. Just about a yard short of the first down marker, but he is inside the 10. Bring up 2nd and 1. Efficient drive for Watford City on the ground. Dickinson can just not find the answer. Direct snap to the fullback of Weidner. He is ripped down by a couple of Mavericks. Leading in on the pile there was Cole Crossley, one of the 12 seniors being honored on Senior Day today. That's going to bring up 3rd and 1, so that not a loss, not a gain on the play for Weidner. Less than a minute now to go before half. Snap back to Liedel Berger. Be pushed back, but it will be getting a first down. Bringing into 1st and goal at the 5-yard line with 37 seconds remaining for Watford City, threatening to take the lead before half. Timeout taken by Coach Dooley. We'll take one with him.
The foundation of the financial planning approach at Legacy Financial Partners is a personal relationship. Our unique and collaborative approach to financial planning starts with your dreams, not just the numbers. We will work with you regularly to take action to update your plan as your needs evolve, recommending products and services that are right for your situation.
It's late night here in the Queen City. Again, kickoff tonight was at 7:30. It is now 8:16. Majority of the games already across the state are already concluded. There's just a few others that are in the fourth quarter, and right now this one going to be the last game on the docket in the state tonight, as we're not even in halftime. All the other ones pretty much wrapped up or are in the process of wrapping up right now. First and goal from the 5. Lee Dahlberger going to keep it himself. He is hit hard by Devin Height. Height, the first one to get to him, and then the other Mavericks right there. No room for Lee Dahlberger. They'll go right back to him. Works to the right side, trying to shift his way in. Colby Fasthorse in on the tackle as he gets to the 2-yard line with 14 seconds left. And here comes Watford City's last time out. Oh, man, here comes a little bit of the theatrics now here late. Before half, taking the last time out for Watford City. Believe that's their last time out, unless they took off that timeout. Yeah, it is their last time out. 14 seconds. Ball's at the 3. With this offense, you kind of have one play. I mean, maybe you can rush a second play if you don't get into the end zone, but it's going to be pretty close. Unless you play a pass play here on 3rd down to make sure you get a chance on 4th. I'm not sure exactly what you draw up if you're Dooley. But the big thing is you already know what your second play is. I think that's what you really got to do if you're Watford City. Have 2 plays, your 3rd down and your 4th down play. If you don't get in here, you can get on all the same page and rush to the line and try to get that 4th down play before the time expires. 14 seconds left. Salas at the 3-yard line. Now joined by Lee Dahlberger. Salas, misdirection. They're just going to plow it in with Weidner. Is he in? Waiting. We're still waiting. And they show it there, a touchdown for Weidner and the Wolves. A delayed call. I think Dawson McLaughlin was trying to get a ref there to try to talk to. But it's going to be a touchdown, and now they'll go for the 2-point try. No, now they're going into 1 as DeVries claps his hands. That will set up the PAT. Thornock. Snap was good. I think it was bobbled snap, but he gets it through. 7-3. Watford City as they score with 4 seconds left. There's Weidner pushing it in for a Watford City touchdown. 4 seconds, the kickoff coming up when we return on the PSP Network as the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show nearing on the PSP Network.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Jaden Weidner with a touchdown with 4 seconds left in quarter number 2. Puts them in the driver's seat before halftime. Great play call there by Coach Dooley. It was a great drive after an interception by Connor Winter. They went down, scored a touchdown right before the half. Here comes a little squib kick. Trying to jump on top of it. Ball still loose as time with 2 seconds. Whoever has it's going to get the ball with one last play. As a scrum on the bottom of the pile, they're going to point towards Dickinson. So the Mavericks will have the final play of the second quarter and the first half. How aggressive do you want to be if you're Dawson McLaughlin? Do you let Stevenson sling it? He had a 60 or 70-yard touchdown pass to Dylan Glauser last week. Just to be on the safe side, though, you got a lot of players on the 3 defensive backs all the way down at the opposite 40-yard line. Final play of the first half. Stevenson rolls to his right. Still looking, just going to throw it out of play, and that will do it for the first half of action. Watford City with a late touchdown puts them up as we enter into the locker rooms. Watford City 7, Dickinson 3. Charbonneau Car Center halftime show coming your way when we return on the PSP Network.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
Welcome into the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show here on the PSP Network. At Charbonneau Car Center, they know drivers in Dickinson, New England, Richardson, Belfield, Williston, North Dakota, and Glendive, Montana. Work hard, play hard, need a car that can keep up. That's why they choose to offer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram lineup at their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, stop into their showroom and treat yourself to a test drive. You can visit them online at charbonneaumotors.com. Well, a fast-moving first half here between Watford City and Dickinson. Again, it's a late one tonight. 7:30 Mountain Time was the kickoff. All the games pretty much across the state are already concluded. We'll talk about some of those scores here in a moment. But before we get to scores, we want to talk about how this one has started off. And started off with Dickinson working down the field with a nice run from Wyatt Turner. A face mask penalty helped get a couple extra yards. Worked into the Serve Pro red zone, and they walked away with a field goal from Braun to make it 3-0. Looked like Dickinson was probably going to be leading at halftime as they got the ball with about 4 or 5 minutes, started to work down some clock, work down the field, but Connor Winter picks off a pass. It was intended for Caleb Polans, gets a nice return, and then sets up a nice 2-minute drill offense for Watford City. And that tough ground and pound offense would not be denied for Watford City. They went down the field, led by Riley Liedalberger, and then it was Jaden Weidner on 3rd and goal with about 14 seconds left. They needed to punch that in to have a shot, because if these stopped on 3rd down, they had no timeouts left, so they would have to hurry to get 4th down, but they didn't have to worry about that. Weidner got enough, goes into the end zone. After a little bit of a discussion there with the referees, and Weidner was counted in, making it 7-3, and that is where we stand. It was a very fast-paced first quarter, a lot of quick action there, about an hour, little less than an hour of action there in the first 2 quarters. Well, taking a look at what's kind of up here for these two teams in the second half, I thought Dickinson did a really good job of stopping that run game throughout that entire first half. Watford City was able to move the ball down well every time they really got it, but just could not quite get it into the end zone until that final drive in the final couple of seconds in the second quarter. Now it's, hey, now you got to get some more, get that offense going for Dickinson. They've made some nice plays, made some nice passes, some nice runs, but now you got to find a way to turn it in to a couple of a touchdown or 2 on the board. And it's going to be kind of an interesting play, because for Watford City, they want to play with the lead, especially in the second half, because we've seen 6-7 minute drives for Watford City tonight. And if you can play with the lead and just continue to milk the clock down, chew the clock down for Watford City, that's your style of play. Just, hey, keep the ball safe on the ground, get that clock moving, and if when you're in the lead, then you don't have to worry about it. Now for Dickinson, you want to try to make sure that those drives end as quick as possible for the Watford City Wolves, and you can try to have enough attempts there on your offense for the Mavericks. For Dickinson, I really like the play of Wyatt Turner. I thought he's looked really good in the backfield. Nate Stevenson's found Paxton Leeson a couple times as well, but now you're going to see if you can get those other guys into that offense as well. Dylan Glauser, Caleb Polans, they try to go to Polans, but that one was picked off for Connor Winter, so it'll be interesting to see of how they can try to get a couple of those other weapons involved for Dickinson. And for Watford City, Riley Liedalberger has just been on another level, and you got to appreciate the guys up front for having him kind of plow the path for him. Starters on the offensive line again tonight was Tim Randalls, Brandon Spacer, Harper Moberg, Birch Cheddar, and Thaden Arnold. And those guys have been to work with, as well as the other 3 guys in that rotation. Again, they have 8 guys kind of sub in and out, and they have did their job of allowing Liedalberger, DeVries, Salas, and Weidner pick up a ton of yards on the ground. Again, this Watford City team averaging over 300 rushing yards per game. Well, second half action nearing here in the Queen City in the opening week of conference action here in the West region of AA between Watford City and Dickinson. Wolves lead 7-3. When we return, we'll wrap up the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show by giving you the scores around the state. Again, everywhere else pretty much final. This one was a late kickoff tonight as we are halfway through this one with Watford City leading by 4.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged, the stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
At Badlands Pet Crematory, we understand that pets are family. Unlike other crematories in the area, we are the only dedicated pet crematory that offers private individual cremation. One pet at a time, 100% guaranteed. From start to finish, we personally handle your pet with the utmost care, ensuring that you receive only your pet in return. Choose Badlands Pet Crematory, because saying goodbye should come with certainty and trust.
Watford City getting some last-minute practice, getting ready and warmed up for the second half. They lead 7-3 on the Charbonneau Car Center halftime show. Let's take a look. We're going to put up the standings on your screen here as we are going to run through the AA scores for tonight. Grand Forks Central with a win over Fargo South, 41-38. Fargo South came back in that game down by 20, but just fell short by 3. Kindred, number 2, stays undefeated, 42-7 over receiving votes Grand Forks Red River. Devils Lake defeats Jamestown tonight, 41-27. So Devils Lake goes 1-0 in conference season, and so does Minot North, 28-0. That one was 28-0 at the half, and remained 28-0 the rest of the way. And Central Cass defeated Wahpeton tonight, 40-0. So all top 5 teams in the standings as well of the state standings all stayed with all wins tonight. Watford City, Dickinson both have been receiving votes at numerous times this year, and sees Watford City up in this one 7-3. Now let's take a look at AAA. West Fargo Horace, the third-ranked Skyhawks over Fargo North, 56-13 tonight. Legacy bounced back with a win against Wilson, 56-18. Fargo Shanley staying undefeated versus West Fargo, 36-28. But those Packers of West Fargo, they only have one win on the season, but they are a very pesky team. They've hung around with pretty much anyone in the state. Bismarck High defeats Minot, 43-7. Century over Mandan, 31-0. And Fargo Davies, the number 2 Eagles, over West Fargo Cheyenne, 51-27. Single A scores. Taking a look at we'll take a look at a couple of top teams as well as teams around the area. Botno defeated Tioga tonight, 34-8. Ellendale Edgeley Calm, number 5, defeated Lisbon, 43-12. Top-ranked Langton area Edmore Munich over Thompson, 34-6. Central McLean, a team that we had on the broadcast of PSP earlier this year, over Shiloh Christian tonight, 20-14. Fourth-ranked Park River area, 39 to Grafton's 8. Hart River defeated Hazen in a big way, 38-8. We had a Hart River Cougar game last week against Dickinson Trinity. Killdeer and Bowman County in a high-scoring affair. Killdeer put up 60 points against Bowman County, and Bowman County put up 46 points. So over 100 combined points there in Killdeer, but the third-ranked Cowboys look like they're going to win it, 1 minute remaining in that contest. We had, I believe Jonas Nelson was on the call for DLB Bishop Ryan tonight on the PSP Network. That one was good, 22-21. Lakers picked up the win over the Bishop Ryan Lions. Beulah defeated Southern McLean, 38-14. Veladrake and Moose Garrison over Ray Powers Lake, 50-6. And those were your regional and top scores around 11A. Quickly looking through 9-man, Hettinger Scranton fell to Napoleon Gackle Streeter, 48-8. New Salem Almont fell to Linton HMB, the third-ranked Lions, putting up 65 points against the Holsteins. Grant County Flasher 41 to Hettinger County 6. And let's see, we're missing any more locally here. Beach fell to Kidder County 14-58. And those are your your Region 4 schools there in 9-man. Well, we went through and all did the little housekeeping, all the score updates as Watford City has hit the field. They lead 7-3 against the Dickinson Mavericks. After scoring on their last possession of the first half, Watford City going to get the ball back to start the second. So Jackson Braun will get ready to boot this one right to left across your screen. Has a little hop. Works in, fielded by Watford City, but not going to get far. Whole bunch of Mavericks there. Aiden Ho and Ian Randall's in on the tackle. Aiden Ho's had a good game today. He's been everywhere in his first, I believe it's his first start on defense this season, but he's been getting more and more reps at that linebacker spot. Got the nod today, and he's looked solid there. But now it's going to be the big matchup to keep an eye on today. We've already talked about it in that first half, but that Watford City offense loves to run down the clock. For Dickinson, who's trailing from behind, you don't want that clock to be chewed too much, especially if they have success going down the field. They'll give it to Tucker DeVries. He'll get it to the 30, pushed back by a couple of different Mavericks. Dylan Glaser, Jesse Hammond in the pile. To get it right to the 30-yard line, a gain of 8. For Watford City, if you score on this drive, go up by 2 possessions, and if you can get out a nice chunk of time here, that would set up Watford City in a huge way for a team that has never defeated Dickinson in school history. 0-4 against, at that time, the Midgets, but now the Mavericks. As now direct snap to Liedal Berger. Picks up the first down at the 40. Hits the Jets, gets wrapped up at the 50 by Jesse Hammond. There's a first down run for Riley Liedal Berger. Doing it again. He has been unstoppable throughout pretty much the entire season. Was held to his lowest amount of yards last week against Grand Forks Central, and you knew you cannot get him to have 2 down weeks, back-to-back weeks. He's going to find a way to bounce back, and that's what he's done. Over 500 yards on the ground. I think he's probably got, with tonight's performance, probably over 600 yards on the ground, would be my guess. With everything added, they're going to look like give that right into the direct snap to Weidner. He's your touchdown holder for the lone touchdown on the board. He picks up a gain of 2. That's what makes this offense so tough, though, with all the impressive running backs and ball carriers. Riley Liedal Berger leading the way. Tucker DeVries over 300 yards. Jaden Weidner over 200 yards. Salas, the quarterback, around 100 yards on the ground. And you're averaging 300 yards per carry. It is a team effort on the ground with all those ball carriers, but again, built up on that offensive line. Salas takes it one way, gives it to DeVries, passes midfield near the 40-yard line. Get working at the 41, a gain of about 7 on the play. On the misdirection to DeVries. Tristan DeVries, just a junior, and you take a look at those backs. DeVries and Liedal Berger are both juniors. Weidner, the senior, and then the quarterback that's conducting this offense is a junior. So 3 of those 4 top ball carriers for this team are going to be returning next year. So everything is kind of trending in that Watford City direction for the time going forward, with this offense really picking ahead of steam this season. As Liedal Berger goes for an extra 2 yards, bringing up 4th and 2. Could be a big 4th down for both sides. For Dickinson, you're trailing right now. I know you have plenty of a ball game left. It's still early on in the 3rd quarter. But for Watford City, you pick up a first down, and you continue just to work down that clock and continue to play your game, that ground and pound, smash mouth, blue collar football for Watford City. But a timeout will be taken. And I think Jim Dooley knows it is going to be a big 4th down, the biggest 4th down here tonight. 8:35 remaining in the 3rd. Watford City leads 7-3. They're faced with a 4th and 2 when we return.
Being in business for over 25 years, we've learned a lot about why local matters. Unlike those guys, we take pride in our work and back our tires with our Plus Plan guarantee to get the most out of your tire's lifespan.
Are the tires the same size on all the sides?
We strive to provide great value to our guests and lowest prices guaranteed.
That's not good.
Stop at a trusted tire and auto and get a set of tires from people you know and trust, and will even match those guys.
.8:35 remaining here in the third quarter. Watford City going to go for it on a 4th and 2. They lead by a score. Salas stepping back with DeVries. Give it to Salas. He muffs it. Now just going to heave a ball up in the direction of Weidner. Incomplete. A big defensive stand. There's a little bit of a bobble there. Salas does a good job of just picking that ball up and just throwing it because it was close to Weidner enough where something that could have been such a no play could have turned into a touchdown play for Watford City. So good work there by the junior quarterback of just making something happen. But for that Dickinson defense, they come up with a big-time stop to start the third and give the ball on over to their quarterback, Nate Stevenson. From one junior quarterback to the next. Stevenson, direct snap to the quarterback. He's going to try to take off. Not going to get far, though. Wrapped up at about a gain of 1. Hitting him as soon as he got there was Brandon Spacer. Spacer and Arnold have been so efficient this year as the kind of bookends of that defensive line. They were able to read that play very well off the direct snap to the quarterback. The QB keeper, 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Stevenson works to his right, looking, still looking, gonna hit the Jets, cut inside, pick up a couple of yards, tight ropes on the line, falls forward near the first down marker. He says he got it. We'll see if he did. As we'll take a look at this again. Great work. Cuts into the inside. As Arnold hit him there, a couple of other players around. He pointed for a first down, but second time today, you've had the premature first down celebration for the Mavericks, as they're going to mark them a yard short. 3rd and 1. Glauser to the far right. Poland's to the left. He's joined by Leeson on that side. Some early movement. They'll flip it over to Leeson. Leeson crosses midfield, and there's a first down for the Mavericks. They love the just quick hitters to Leeson. So athletic. And now they're going to bring in Shane Ciani as Leeson just limping a little bit there. Maybe got rolled up. Ciani had a big-time day here week 1 against Fargo South. See if he can come up with another big play. That wide receiver number 4. Instead, they'll throw it on to Dylan Glauser. Hauls it in for a 5-yard gain. Again, Shane Ciani just checking in today as 7 catches, 52 yards, and a bulk of that coming again in week 1. It's been held off the stat sheet. I think last week was held off the stat sheet almost entirely on the offense, but seeing if they can work him back in. Try to step up in a big way. Ethan Luna also checking in the contest. 2 new guys coming in, both on the left side. Direct snap into a quarterback keeper. Stevenson nearing the red zone. He's pumped up as Stevenson with 6 minutes remaining in the third quarter, now near the Serve Pro red zone. Another QB keeper. And with those couple of runs, he's probably eclipsed now over 300 yards on the ground as Stevenson. Enter the day with over 700 passing yards, just under 300 rushing yards. He's that dual threat here for the Mavs. Halfway through quarter number 3. Stevenson swings it out to Leeson. Little stutter step. Brought down by Arnold and Liedall-Berger. Gets back to the line of scrimmage and maybe give him an extra yard on top of that, making it 2nd and 9. Well contained by Watford City. After sitting out of play, that goes right back to Leeson. Now Stevenson looking to pass. Getting it back to Leeson. Shakes the tackler at the 10, the 5 as he is brought down. Leeson with another reception. Back-to-back catches for Leeson. There it is. He shrugs the tackler to get the first down and gets the Mavericks into the Serve Pro red zone for the second time today inside the 5-yard line. Injured Wolf on the ground. We're going to take a timeout. When we come back, 1st and goal for the Mavericks when we return. 5 minutes remaining in the third.
That sinking feeling you get when this happens? That's oil change-anxiety. The anxiety of being without a car with a billion things to do. The fear of being overcharged. The stress of not knowing where to go or who to trust. But you never get those feelings at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch us work right from your car, and we finish up in about 15 minutes.
We changed your oil and did our 18-point safety check.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Service you can see.
Dickinson getting into the 5-yard line. 1st and goal after a nice play from Stevenson to Leeson. Stevenson gonna keep it himself. Follows the fullback. He's gonna get pushed into the end zone for a Maverick touchdown. He's pumped up. The student section excited as they have regained the lead. The Mavericks lead 9-7, 4:29 remaining in the third. Let's take a look on the Ryan Family Dealerships instant replay. Stevenson not going down. There's Colby Fasthorse and company pushing him in for the score. Snap good, hold good. Braun's kick is good. 10-7 DHS after Stevenson with the quarterback keeper hits pay dirt. They lead by 3, 4:29 when we return. Watford City getting the ball back.
Rooted in the heart of our vibrant communities stands Bravera Bank, offering complete financial services for banking, wealth management, and insurance. From home loans and checking accounts
Let me tell you about the cashback rewards with this account.
to wealth management, we'll help you forge your path ahead.
Let's create a plan to reach your financial goals. Sounds great.
With specialty insurance coverage, our advisors ensure your operation can carry on.
Looks like it's going to be a great harvest.
Nate Stevenson making some nice passes, and then he goes to the ground to pick up a touchdown. And just like that, Mavericks go back up. 10-7, 4:29 remaining in the third. Braun shows his boot there, sends it all the way down to the 5-yard line, where it is scooped up by Griffin Cheddar, who's hit at the 20. The momentum onto the side of Dickinson. There's a big hit by Devin Height to really get the crowd going. Now goes back to the Watford City side that's had that success of working down the field. With only 7 points to show for it, seeing if they can answer back to a solid Dickinson drive. Today's game brought to you in part by BSN, Minot State, Northern Plains Heating and Air, Farstead Oil, the Aggie Foundation, and Bones Barbecue Sauce. Can't thank our great sponsors enough. Snap for Riley Liedall-Berger goes up the middle for being pushed back by Polans and Fasthorse. Defense is going to be the name of the game for both these two teams, and they've done a great job of limiting each other to 10 points or less on the board. Very low-scoring affair between these two. Not like the one that's 30, 40 minutes away between Killdeer and Bowman County that was 60-46 last time I checked. Salas goes back with DeVries. They'll give it to DeVries. Puts the hand on the back, now jumps to the outside. He breaks loose to the 40, the 50. One man to beat is Leeson, and he's going to the 20, the 10. Touchdown, DeVries, touchdown Wolves. Tristan DeVries with a big-time touchdown run. An immediate answer. Watford City said, "Hey, we're not gonna let Dickinson have that lead for long." Right back to DeVries. Was that an 80-yard, I believe, touchdown run for Tristan DeVries? And the kick is good. 14-10, Watford City. A quick answer back puts the Wolves back on top. 3:31 remaining in the third quarter.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Nate Stevenson warming up on the sidelines after scoring a touchdown just, about a minute ago. And now we'll have to hit back on the field after a quick touchdown for Watford City. Tristan DeVries with an 80-yard touchdown run answers right back within a minute from the Dickinson touchdown. So Watford City gave up the lead, but got it right back. Gonna swip quick right into the hands of the returner. Trying to power his way near midfield was Tucker Broughton, the sophomore. Good work there, brings it into nice field position to start for the Mavericks. Today's game brought to you by Bones Barbecue Sauce. A true North Dakota original, created and bottled right here in North Dakota. It's premium barbecue sauce, perfect on anything from ribs to burgers to veggies. Find a day at your local grocery store, Cashwise, Marketplace, and Family Fare. Went to Cashwise today, and I picked myself up a bottle of Bones Barbecue Sauce. So I'll let you know maybe next week of what I think of it. I'm excited to give it a try. Turner gives the handoff. Works it up to midfield and passed into Watford City territory at the 44. And can't thank our great sponsors enough. And Bones Barbecue Sauce, one of them. They brought us to the Friday night football graphic that you see every week. Got a nice barbecue store there, or barbecue restaurant there in the Minot area. Leeson getting motion right to left. They fake it to Leeson. They're looking for it all to try to get it to Caleb Pullins. Just out of reach. We saw a big touchdown there. I think that same play against Fargo South earlier this year where they pump it to Leeson as the decoy, and that allows Pullins to try to sneak in behind and go for a big-time play. This one, though, just a little off from Stevenson's pass. But on a second and short, you might as well just, hey, throw something up, seeing if you can get them to bite. 3rd and 2, defense pressuring, but Turner hits the gap and gets a first down. Wyatt Turner moves the chains. Glaser Pullins come back onto the field as that was a obvious running situation with height on the field. With Height and Lowry in to be those kind of the blocking tight ends. Now they'll bring back the wide receivers on 1st and 10 at the 38. Fast horse works to the left side of the line. Hitting the gap hard as Turner stiff arms the defender for a first down at the 22-yard line. It's Wyatt Turner. He's had a big day today. Hits that gap. And there's a little bit of a stiff arm to get an extra 3 yards on the carry as they near the Serve Pro red zone after a 7-3 first half. Both these two teams have put up a touchdown in the third quarter. So a very defensively based first half, and now it's the offense is shining in the second. Stevenson works to the right, nothing there. Now he's trying to scramble away from Spacer, or from Arnold. He's going to throw one out of bounds. Goes incomplete, setting up second down with a $1:44 on the scoreboard here in the third. Again, Dickinson has been in this situation a lot this year with one possession games heading into the fourth quarter in both home games. It's Fargo South and Central Cass. They were trailing by a possession heading into the fourth. The two away games, the game was kind of settled before the fourth quarter. The win against Wilson, the loss against Grand Forks Central. Stevenson throw was intercepted, picked off by Will Langford. He returns it to the 30 as Watford City coming away with their second interception. There's the return, bringing it to the 30-yard line for Langford. It's Watford City's defense coming up with their second interception, stalling what was a very efficient drive for Dickinson. That was, again, getting to the Serve Pro red zone. Watford City's defense has picked it twice, and both at timely spots, deflating the air out of the sails of that Dickinson offense. Try to run it up the middle. Not going to get far on the run. Try to go back to Tristan DeVries, who picked up that 80-yard touchdown run. Last offensive possession for Watford City would put them back up on the scoreboard, 14-10. More than likely they'll hold it going into the fourth quarter. So it'll be the third time this year where Dickinson will be trailing by a score heading into the fourth and final quarter. Be the third time this season, third time in this very building here at Fisher Field in the Bijou Activity Center. Little misdirection. Goes from Lee Dahlberger into Tristan DeVries. As he picks up a gain of 2. As there you see there, cheer or go to jail. So, hey, you might as well got to get loud now. Good time for that sign to come out for the police officers as it's 3rd and 4, a big-time possession coming up for Dickinson. Didn't know exactly what was going on. Seen some lights down there, and then that sign comes out. 3rd and 4. Salas. They'll get it to the direct snap to Lee Dahlberger. Not going to get a first down. He is pushed back. Another big defensive stop. I believe that was Caden Schaefer in on the area there. Tolliver was there as well, and now a timeout to be taken. Wanted to talk some things over. I believe it was Watford City as 4th and 4 when we return. Will they go for it, or will they punt it back over to the Mavericks as we head on over? Actually, no, that was the end of the third quarter. Excuse me, not a timeout. No, we're headed to the fourth when we return. 4th and 4. Watford City can have a decision when we return.
For decades, Nodak Insurance Company has been serving our state's residents in good times and challenging times. We come together for the greater good, from simple acts of kindness to company-wide efforts that make a difference in our community. It's who we are, rooted in North Dakota and ready to serve when it matters most. Nodak Insurance Company, agents with answers.
Darren Johnson, Cody Olson, and Scott Wilkins, your agents with answers in Mandan.
4th and 4 at their own 37-yard line for Watford City. They're going to line up in an I, so you don't know if they're going to punt it or if they're going to go for it. And even right now, they act like they're going to go for it, and they're going to. A handoff. You got to pick up a first down for the Freeze. They needed 4, they got 5. And that's just so tough of how they set up in that everyone in a line, 10 guys all uniform, and then they run to the line because you have no time to set up for whatever that is, and they do that a lot against Grand Forks Central. They did that the whole first half. Here they've just used it sparingly, but when they've used it, it has worked, and it's confused that Dickinson defense at points. But now it's fourth quarter action, and Watford City with a big first down allows them to continue to work the clock with the lead. Lead Allberger battling in. There's Colby Fast Horse trying to rip that ball loose. Let's take a look on the Ryan Family Dealership instant replay. Let's see if we got a shot here. Here comes Fast Horse, and you see him just continuing to try to strip that ball out of the hands of Lead Allberger. Doing anything he can. Game brought to you in part by the Aggie Foundation. Vote each week for the PSP Network Player Performance of the Week. Nominees will be posted on social media each Monday with a winner being announced on Thursdays. Player Performance of the Week is sponsored by the Aggie Foundation and Minot State. Lead Allberger bounces to the right side. Flag on the play, and they'll get back to the line of scrimmage on the run for the Wolves. Looks like it's going to be on Watford City. But now for Dawson McLaughlin, do you take a 3rd and 8 or do you do a 2nd and 13? That's the question as well. Do you give an extra play or do you not? Looks like they're going to take the penalty yards. Not worried about that extra down is McLaughlin. As Watford City. Also could be a nice play call down because you haven't seen Watford City throw the ball through the air much tonight. Their offense is on the ground, again, averaging, I think, was it 20 or 30 passing yards to over 300 yards on the ground. They've got a formula that works for them, and they just try to stay tried and true to it. As Lead Allberger and Salas back there. Direct snap to Weidner as the pile continues to push forward all the way to the 47-yard line. Jaden Weidner, who averaged 12 yards per carry last week. He's got one of the touchdowns for Watford City, and there's a nice run from him there. Solid carry once again for Weidner, and there you're set up with a 3rd and 4. So there it is. You took the yards to push Watford City back instead of taking a 3rd and 6, 3rd and 7. Well, now it's a 3rd and 4. So it kind of worked out more for Watford City at the end, as they'll try to get past midfield and into DHS territory. But before the play is snapped, a timeout taken by Coach Julie in Watford City. They lead with 9:28 remaining in the fourth quarter. Today's game brought to you in part by Farsted Oil. Contact Farsted Oil today to find out how their skilled sales team can help you achieve your wholesale fuel, mobile, lubricants, and DEF needs. Proudly serving North Dakota, Montana, and western Minnesota since 1938. Committed to outstanding customer service and reliability. Farsted Oil. 9:28 remaining in quarter number 4. 3rd and 4 coming for Watford City, coming out of the First International Bank and Trust timeout taken by Jim Dooley and the Watford City Wolves. Direct snap to DeVries. He goes to the left, bounces to the outside, picks up a first down. There is a flag on the play. Right where Colby Fasthorse was really the only near player. Now the ref picks it up and then throws it more closer to Watford City. And we'll say it is on Watford City. So there you go. Thaden Arnold was asking for an explanation. Didn't hear if that was on him or not. But either way, I think it was Fasthorse the one that was able to get the call to go the other way, as he was the player that was near that penalty marker. And now that's a big penalty that goes against Watford City, who is 3rd and 4, and now 3rd and 14. Do you stay on the ground and play your offense, or do you try to get those 14 yards and go through the air? We'll see. They're going to just go to the ground. Up the middle again to Weidner. He gets to the initial line of scrimmage, an extra couple yards there. Will be 4th and 8 coming up after a positive play of about 7. So cuts it in half on your own side of the field. Looks like a change of players, so morally indicating that we're going to get a punt to send it back to the Mavericks. But with Watford City, you can never be too sure because you're not going to quite see what formation they're lined up with until they actually do it. Right now they're acting like it's a punt, but hey, might have to just keep an eye on a fake here. They will boot it though, pride and true, as that one going to drop at the 34. And then with a little bit of backspin to the 32. So not much of a friendly Watford City bounce. Only off the bounce, picking up an extra 2 yards. And here comes the Dickinson Mavericks. Their 3rd time this season where they have entered the 4th quarter down by a score. Been faced with about 2 or 3 minute drills at the end of the games on both those times. But it was a late turnover that helped seal it for the other team. Dickinson has turned the ball over twice today, seeing if they can drive down the field and try to capitalize here this drive. Stevenson stumbles as the turf monster, I think, got him there before he even got up to the line, and maybe he saw spacer and kind of just fell down regardless, but kind of fell awkwardly. It'll be a loss of 1 on the play for Stevenson. Stevenson, a dual threat, has a rushing touchdown tonight that put Dickinson up on the board briefly, 10-7, before Watford City went down on the very next drive. Pretty much the next play was a touchdown for Tristan DeVries and put Watford City back up 14-10. Stevenson, pump fake, trying to get it to Glaser at the 35, just about a yard overthrown. Glaser was held up there by the defender trying to get around him. Almost perfectly placed, but some nice defense there by Connor Winter, who already has an interception today, to kind of hold him up there. But that press on Glaser forces a little bit of a mistiming. Glaser was able to get away cleanly from that press. That's probably a catch and maybe a touchdown for the Mavericks. So they're faced now with a 3rd and 10. Stevenson, back to pass. Pocket, starting to fold on him. He's going to throw. He's got a wide open receiver. It's caught by Ethan Luna to the 20, the 10. He's celebrating, and he's in the end zone. Touchdown, Dickinson. Ethan Luna, wide open. Stevenson finds him on a 3rd and long. There you see the back end. There you see the celebration. 7:38 remaining. A big-time throw for Stevenson, and what was probably even a bigger catch for Luna. The boot for Braun is good. 17-14. Dickinson taking the lead with 7:38 remaining in the ballgame.
The Jersey Mike's catering box is the easiest way to feed your friends. The hard part is picking your sub. That's why we're having a draft. With the first pick, Sarah from Carolina selects number 13, the original Italian.
You know, I trusted my gut, and that's exactly where the sub's going to go. So
Hold on, we've got a trade. Jake traded his second pick with me, because I'm starved. Freshly sliced subs to go, wherever you and your friends go. Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Nate Stevenson to Ethan Luna on a 60-plus yard strike. There you see the celebration for Luna and the Dickinson bench running to celebrate with them. That is Luna's first touchdown, I believe, of his high school career on senior night, nonetheless. Entered the day with just 2 catches on the season. Well, now he's got his third, and none going to be probably bigger than that one. Putting him back up in a conference matchup. Cheddar was trying to spin around, but he's not going to get far. He's hit within the 15-yard line. Last time Dickinson took the lead, though, it only took Watford City about a play or two, and they were down the field and already back on top. What will happen this drive? It's like the offenses have been able to move the ball down well, but don't have many points to show for it. A relatively low-scoring game. That was 7-3 at halftime. The offenses, though, have put some more points up since then. And that touchdown for Watford City that made it 7-3 was just 4 seconds before half. The majority of that first half was 3-0. Here comes Liedalberger breaking loose to the 30, the 35. He's wrestled at the 40. And when you need a big play, you can call Riley Liedalberger today. He has been on another level running that ball. And again, he's one of the leading running backs on this team, but also one of the leading rushers in WDA this season. In Double-A, maybe even in the state, he has been absolutely spectacular. Over 600 rushing yards on the year. Well, that number's probably even closer to 700 with his performance today. They're going to go right back to him. Liedalberger shrugs the tackler, lowers the shoulder, give him a gain of 9. His offensive line doing a good job of setting the edge, and he's doing the rest, lowering the shoulder, getting an extra couple of yards, and getting right near midfield with 6.5 minutes left to play. Back to Liedalberger. Works up the middle, and that's going to be enough. He needed 1, got 2, give him a first down, get him to midfield, and Watford City now into Dickinson territory. Here in the fourth quarter, seeing if they can go back on top. There you see Nate Stevenson. Last 2 home games, we've had some nice shots of Stevenson getting ready in that fourth quarter, trying to get locked in because he's had to have 2 2-minute drills this year already. This one could be the 3rd time he has a 2-minute drill on this very arena if Watford City goes to score. Liedalberger fakes to the left, fakes to the right, goes to the left, and he's wrestled out of bounds by Fast Horse Hammond and Glaser, but not before a big first down. It's a gain of about 15. He's at the 34-yard line. We've seen this before where Riley Liedalberger just continues to dominate on the ground and work down the field. We saw him do that earlier, and then it was Jaden Weidner that punched it in for 6 on that drive. Salas under center now is going to step back with Liedalberger, who's going to get the direct snap. He'll shrug off a tackler now, pushed back. And a tackle for Jesse Hammond, a gain of 1. The clock stopped. Now it's starting to roll there. So they got everything set back on with that game clock or with the play clock as well. They're just going to let it roll for a while. 14 seconds on the play clock. Jim Dooley is still looking through his plays here to give to Baylor Salas. And looks like Dooley's going to be taking a timeout. So timeout taken for Watford City. They're driving down by 3, 17-14, Dickinson, 5:32 on a late night here on Mountain Time here in Dickinson.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
There you see Colby Fasthorse, one of the 12 seniors on senior day that has had a big senior day. But he is, again, feeling the repercussions of a smash-mouth football team in Watford City, trying to walk it off and seeing maybe if we'll see him back on that defense. He's been having 2 back-to-back big weeks on that defense. Last week was a big one, over double-digit tackles for Colby Fasthorse. He's been a big name in that defense here today as well. Pitch play to Riley Liedalberger. He'll be wrestled down for a gain of 4 on the play. It was a quick tackle in by Cole Crossley, another fellow senior, and those 12 seniors trying to win senior day in front of their home crowd and also start off conference play with a win. But Watford City giving them everything they can handle here tonight. We thought this was going to be a good game, and we've got one. Back to the misdirection, back to Liedalberger. Stopped and pushed back by Isaac Lowry and company. Lowry, Pullins, and company there to push him back and force 4th down. 4th and 3, and we have got a Watford City Wolf on the ground. So an injury timeout on the field. We'll take one with them. Watford City has a 4th and 3 coming up when we return. 4:46 left in the game.
We want it all. We want our dog to fetch it.
Drop it.
And drop it. We want to fix it ourselves. And actually fix it. We want to order the market price lobster. And know the market price of the lobster.
How much is...
Whatever the market says.
Sadly, we can't have it all. Except at Sport Clips, where we check in with the pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. Sport Clips. It's a game changer.
At Shots Crossroads, we make 8 gallons of homemade ranch dressing every day. So you can smother your dinner salad with it, dip those crispy golden French fries in it, and dunk your breaded chicken strips. You can even cover your... Wait, no. You can't put ranch on steak. Or can you? Shots Crossroads. Don't forget the ranch.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of FINRA Civic. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL.
Harper Moberg for Watford City being helped off, and in the first quarter, Harper Moberg was slow to get off the field. He battled back into this contest, was giving it his all, but I think that lingering injury from the first quarter has now affected him here in the fourth, but great determination and fight from him, trying to stay in this game, trying to battle through the pain. And now it's 4th and 3. Watford City down by 3, needing a first down. Giving the handoff to DeVries. He will pick up the first down, then some. He's into the ServPro red zone. Ball was on the ground, but they will say DeVries had the first down beforehand. They enter the ServPro red zone and complete a 4th down, 24/7 emergency service, trained technicians, advanced technology, fighter, and water cleanup and restoration. It's ServPro. Not only a first down, but the time continuing to tick, tick, tick away. 4:15, and now Watford City threatening to go back on top. Liedalberger follows the blocker, Asalis. Gets in the 10-yard line as he is hit at the 6 is when he's finally dropped down. setting him up with a 2nd and 4. 2nd and 4 at the 6-yard line as Aiden Ho checks out. We talked about it before, but this very well could be a situation where Dickinson is faced with their third kind of 3-minute drill on the season. Needed a touchdown. It's Watford City trying to go up. Liedalberger goes right down the middle. Maybe gains a yard. Setting up 3rd and 3. 3rd and 2. Who is Isaac Lowry in on the tackle. As we approach less than 3 minutes in the final game in the state tonight. 9:22 Mountain Time is where we're at. 10:22 Central Time if you're watching in Watford City or watching elsewhere across the state. Goes back to Weidner. Going to be stopped a yard short, but it is a 1st down. They needed to get basically in a yard or 2 within the end zone to get a 1st and goal, and now they've got it. And honestly, for Watford City, I think that might be better for them than just scoring on that play to get down at the 1. Now you got some more time to tick off the clock, and to make sure that doesn't happen, Dawson McLaughlin going to take a timeout for Dickinson. We're going to stay right here with you, though, on this timeout break. Big thanks out to our sponsors, BSN. BSN creates exclusive personalized solutions for North Dakota high school and collegiate programs, from custom equipment, uniforms, and coaches' apparel to fan wear, branding, and more. They do it all. Contact your local BSN sales pro today. Western North Dakota Sales Pros, Scott Woodmansey, a part of our BSB broadcast team as well. Greg Foster, Naomi Erdahl, and Nate Zachman, sales manager of Joe Kittle. Or Joe Kittel, excuse me. Well, we've now got the big defensive stand. That timeout stopping the clock at 2:40. Timeout break brought to you by First International Bank and Trust. Full-service, family-owned, independent community bank built on the trust and the bond between their employees and customers, founded in 1910. Find them on FIBT.com. 1st and goal at the 1. Trying to get that to go at the 1-yard line. They're going to say short. Could not quite see who had it on the scrum on those short yardage situations. It's been Jaden Weidner. I'm going to say that was probably who had it on there. And it looks like it was Baylor Salas on the quarterback keeper. He's the one that flips up the ball to the ref. And now they'll say a penalty on the offense. Looks like Dawson McLaughlin is going to take the yards in this case. He's going to instead make it 1st and goal at the 11 instead of 1st and goal at the 1, since it was a 10-yard penalty. Referee trying to get attention. Going to put 2 more seconds on the game clock. So we'll move to 2:33 to 2:35. There you see Jim Dooley seeing if he can design what could be the game-winning touchdown for Watford City. If they can get in for 6, would put the pressure on the Dickinson offense that is just patiently waiting. Liedalberger stopped by Caden Cheddar and Jesse Hammond. Big time stop. There you see Nate Stevenson again. Seems like every week it's Nate Stevenson patiently waiting if he's going to hit the field. He'll have to hit the field to go on a game-winning touchdown. Try to get down the field, or if his defense is going to come up with a big stop. 2nd down at the 14, breaking loose. Cutting it into the inside, it's Liedalberger, and he's going to be short. Oh, Tristan DeVries, excuse me on that. DeVries stopped inside the 5-yard line, and the Mavericks forced to take another timeout. to stop the clock at 1:45. This time we will take a quick timeout. We'll be back in 30 seconds. Watford City has the ball at the 2-yard line.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending, you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Watford City trailing by 3. Faced with a 3rd and goal at the 2-yard line. After a big-time carry for Tristan DeVries, who's had as one of the 2 touchdowns for Watford City. Salas, Lido Berger. They'll give it on the misdirection to DeVries for the touchdown. Tristan DeVries picks up a touchdown with less than 2 minutes on the board. And there you see the misdirection. Even our cameraman almost got fooled there. Almost started falling. Lido Berger. Nice catch there as it goes into the hands of DeVries for 6. Watford City. This kick is blocked. What could be a big blocked kick because Jackson Braun can kick field goals for Dickinson. They do got a guy that they trust. And so it will be interesting now for Dickinson because you don't necessarily need a touchdown. You can give an opportunity if you can't get all the way in. If you can get it within probably, the 20, 25-yard line, you have a chance with Braun to kick it through. And if that's the case, we could get to overtime. We could very well get a game that it could get in to midnight in the Eastern time zone. So we could get the very much anticipated Mavs after midnight. On a late kickoff tonight, 7:30. Normally it's 6 o'clock Mountain. But no, 7:30 Mountain. First half really blazed through. It's really been a quick game as time has been able to wind down quickly with these 2 teams. But it's been a fun one, and now we'll see how it all plays out. .142 is where the time sits, with 1 timeout to work with the Mavericks. The ball almost was going to roll out of play, but having to touch that ball was Randall's. It was one of those tough things. Do you touch it? Do you not? If you don't touch it and Watford City gets it, it's a live ball, and at a point you just got to make sure that ball is secured. So good decision there. You can't just expect it to go. There is Stevenson running on to the field. And there is Jackson Braun getting ready for what could be, if his Mavericks get into field goal position, a game-tying kick late. 2 players that are trying to get into clutch time. Stevenson looking to scramble. He's going to tuck it and run. Gets to the 30, almost loses the ball, and does he? Watford City saying he does, and it's a fumble. Watford City comes away with a forced fumble and a fumble recovery. Here it is on the Ryan Family Dealerships instant replay. I thought maybe he got the ball back from our vantage point, but it looks like there just could not quite haul it in. That ball gets hit loose. And now Watford City in the driver's seat, trying to see if I can do the math quickly in my head. I think they still might have to get a first down. They got to get at least 1 first down to secure it. 1 first down wins the game. for Jim Dooley's Watford City Wolves. Salas just going to knee it. Devin Height comes flying in late. And they're going to let the time run out here. Wait, Dawson McLaughlin wanted a timeout. And now for this case here, if I'm Dawson McLaughlin, I don't even know if I would have took a timeout, because now are the refs going to put the appropriate amount of time on the board? That's going to be the big thing now, too. At that point, you kind of just would rather just wait and take the timeout next play, unless they put on the appropriate amount of time. Okay, they will put about 9 seconds on the clock, 1:23. So timeout taken by Dickinson. Brought to you by First International Bank and Trust. Full service, family-owned, independent community bank built on the bond between their employees and customers, founded in 1910, growing to serve rural and urban communities across Arizona, Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota. You can find them online at fibt.com. So this Dickinson team, they have been in dogfight after dogfight after dogfight this year, especially at home, and have seen 3 games go into the fourth quarter with 1-possession games. They're trying to see if they fell in the previous 2, seeing if they had some luck. But right now, time might not be on their side. Watford City doesn't need, I think, a potential timeout, unless they're just going to run some clock here. They'll be bouncing out to DeVries, who will go right into Ethan Luna. Getting to the initial first down marker, ball at the 34-yard line. So yes, it looks like it is going to be a chance. There could be a chance Dickinson gets this ball back. Or no, let me see. I'm trying to do the math here in my head, and I don't know. I don't think so. I think that might have about did it on that run to the outside. With 40 seconds, this is going to secure the win for Watford City. They got to play it one more time. Got to make sure this ball is secured. Liedalberger going to bounce to the outside. Devin Height wrestles him down. Clock goes up, and that is going to do it. Watford City comes into the Bijou Activity Center and picks up their first win against Dickinson High School in program history. For the Watford City Wolves, they were 0-4 through their first 4 meetings with the Mavericks. And it finally pays off for them with Jim Dooley at the helm. A late touchdown, a late forced fumble secures the win for Watford City in a thriller. Here in the Bijou Activity Center, we will talk about this one when we return on the Charbonneau Car Center post-game show.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game day.
When facing disaster, it's not just the things we lose, but the memories. But there's hope. ServPro, with decades of experience in Minot and Bismarck, is always ready. Our certified professionals don't just restore homes, they rebuild lives. Because to us, you're not just a client, you're family.
Our stylists are trained to understand the nuances of cutting men's hair. Less pomp, more adore, huh, Brittany?
Square face, wavy hair.
Mid-fade with a textured top. Finish it off with a hard part and taper that neckline, coach.
Cowlick, what's the move? It's not just all about hard work here.
Hit all. 7. Pressure. Points. Yeah.
It takes expertise to be a sport clip stylist.
Here?
That's the spot. Right there, huh?
Sport Clips, the pros in men's hair.
Whether you're looking for a full-service financial plan or planning for farm or business succession, Planning Team Financial Advisors is here to help you work toward achieving your financial goals. With locations in Bismarck, Garrison, and Center, our full-service team of professionals are dedicated to helping you work towards achieving your financial goals. Visit us online, planningteam.com.
Securities offered through LPL Financial, member of Finrun Civic. Investment advisory services offered through New Edge Advisors, LLC, a registered investment advisor. New Edge Advisors, LLC, and Planning Team Financial Advisors are separate entities from LPL Financial.
Planning for the future is difficult, but pre-planning your funeral is a thoughtful way to ease the burden on your loved ones. At Stevenson Funeral Home, our compassionate team will help you create a personalized plan that reflects your values. We'll make sure that your wishes are honored and that your family will have peace of mind in a challenging time. Call us today to start your pre-planning journey. You can count on us to be with you every step of the way. Stevenson Funeral Home.
Dakota Community Bank and Trust, your trusted partner for commercial and business loans. We not only provide lending you need to grow your business, but we also reinvest in our communities. We believe in strengthening our businesses and creating opportunities for success. Choose Dakota Community Bank and Trust for your commercial and business loans, and together let's keep our communities thriving.
Serving the community, looking out for you. At Dakota Community Bank and Trust, that's what we do.
Welcome in to the Charbonneau Car Center post-game show. Charbonneau Car Center, they know drivers in Dickinson, New England, Richardson, Belfield, Wilson, North Dakota, and Glendive, Montana. Work hard, play hard, and need a car that can keep up. That's why they choose to offer Buick, GMC, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram lineup at their dealership in Dickinson. If you're interested in learning more, stop into their showroom and treat yourself to a test drive. You can visit them online at charbonneaumotors.com. Well, what an exciting game. Another one that comes down. And here in the PSP Dickinson market, I think we've been very lucky of how the games we have got. Every single game has been lights out. And you just think that, hey, we're going to get a stinker in there or something. But no, that's not been the case. Every game has basically came down to the end. This one had the makings of being a close football game just from the makeup of taking a look at all the stats coming up into this point. And that's what happened today. It came down to the end. Watford City, though, victorious 20-17. How did we get there? Well, in the first quarter, it was a low-scoring first half. Braxton Braun, though, first drive, they go in. Does Dickinson gets inside the 5-yard line. Could not get a touchdown, but they go in elect to kick a field goal. Braun on senior day kicks up through the uprights to make it 3-0. Almost a scoreless entire second quarter, but it was Watford City that drove down the field in the final minute and saw Jaden Weidner punch it in. 4 seconds left, 7-3, and they would take the lead right before halftime. Nate Stevenson, though, didn't last long, would go right back up, a drive down the Mavericks in the field on their first drive of the third quarter, make it 10-7. A few plays later, though, Tristan Freeze, 80-yard touchdown run, 14-10. Fourth quarter, Nate Stevenson, 60-plus yard touchdown, put the Mavs back on top to Ethan Luna. First touchdown on the season for Luna. Yeah, that was only his third catch on the year, and that one a 60-plus yard touchdown, 17-14. But Watford City was not out of it yet. They were able, with 142 on the board, go down the field, and it was Tristan DeVries that picks up his second touchdown on the day. Nate Stevenson and the Mavericks had a chance on their third about 2-minute drill on the season, and a fumble that was forced by Watford City. They jumped on top of it, and that would do it. Watford City seals the win 20-17, as they will hit that bus and head home victorious. As Watford City, they were very pumped, and they're big pumped for a big reason. You just kick off conference play 1-0, but also for Watford City, this is their first 3+ win season since 2018. So a lot of seasons where they've been held to 2 or lower amount of wins. Their first 3-win season in a long time there for Watford City. Jim Dooley is, that again, a second year, has implemented that wing tee offense to success, and it's really worked out for Watford City well. A lot of great performances tonight, but now we get ready for the Sports Clips. MVP of the game. Sports Clips brings you the MVP of the matchup. Sports Clips is the home of the MVP haircut experience. Nothing comes close to making you feel like an MVP, quite like the MVP experience at Sports Clips. Tonight's Sports Clips game MVP. Couple of different options you could go with it. Tristan DeVries picked up 2 touchdowns on the ground, but we're going to give it to the other running back on over for Watford City, Riley Liedalberger. He was held off the score sheet, but he also ended up picking up a touchdown. Hey, we got him in as well. We're going to go and get Tristan DeVries in as the player of the game. So, hey, we're going to go both of those running backs. Tristan DeVries, Riley Liedalberger. Riley led them on the ground with yardage. Tristan DeVries got the 2 touchdowns. And even on our picture on social media, we even got head coach Jim Dooley. So we got a whole trio out there that was all a big and instrumental part of this win for Watford City. And that it just feels good for this Watford City team to get that 3rd win on the season. That's been very elusive for them for so long. So, hey, why not? Let's go co-MVPs and kind of a trio of MVPs, Riley Liedalberger, as well as Tristan DeVries and head coach Jim Dooley. So a great game call there for Dooley. Great execution by his running backs. And that offensive line was fantastic tonight. And again, big defensive play at the end wins it for Watford City. They were key on all fronts. It was an absolute battle for both these two teams. Watford City goes away victorious. Next up for these two squads, Watford City will be back at home against the top team in the state, Minot North, next week. And for the Dickinson Mavericks, they hit the road trip. They're out to Jamestown to take on the Blue Jays. Taking a look at the WDA standings grid, in Minot North, Devils Lake, and Watford City. The 3 teams that had the best success in non-conference all come away with the Week 1 wins in conference play. So it'll be interesting to see as we have started our march to the playoffs. Week 1 of 5 of those conference games already down. That's going to do it for myself, Brock Weidner. Big thanks out to the camera crew of Austin Rotz, Zach Sprague. Great job as always. Big thanks out to all of our great sponsors that made this broadcast possible. Watford City picking up their win 20-17 and picking up their first ever victory against Dickinson in program history. Well, that's going to do it for the Charbonneau Car Center post-game show. Have yourself a great rest of your Friday night and have yourself a great weekend.
This presentation on the PSP Network is proudly brought to you by PSP Network on all social media platforms. PSP Network, it's game